Hello and good morning, everyone. Today, on our special episode of Konti Cancer, Journey of Hope and Heal, I am joined by my co-host today, Ravi Varman. Say hello to everybody, Ravi. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Konti Cancer. Like Dimitri said, it's going to be a very special one today, and we have a very special guest, right, all the way from Hong Kong. Dimitri, take it away.
Yes, we have a special guest, Jessica, today. She is the founder of one of the initiatives here around globally, actually, International World Cancer Walk, if our readers have heard about it. She has been in this game for quite a long while, actually. Jessica, if you'd like to take away the reins.
Hi, thank you, Dimitri and Ravi. Thank you for having me, and thank you, everyone, for listening. It's really nice to connect with you all. As you guys said, my name is Jessica Greenstein. I'm from Hong Kong, born and raised, and I founded the World Cancer Walk. I founded it 6 years ago now.
Awesome. Jess, I mean, the obvious question here, right? I think Dimitri has in his mind too, like, what is the story behind World Cancer Walk, right? I'm sure it's something personal to you. So do you mind sharing what is the story behind?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for asking, because actually the story is really the core and the heartbeat of the World Cancer Walk and everything that happens around it. So like many people, sadly, I've had many people who in my life have been affected by cancer. I lost 2 grandparents to cancer. When I was 18, I lost someone who was really close to me. And those 3 people are kind of at the core of everything that I do. But it was really somebody else, a friend of mine, who kind of inspired the inception of the World Cancer Walk.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in November 2020. So I think we were mid-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a call saying that my friend was re-diagnosed with cancer. She was a breast cancer survivor. And I felt devastated. It hit me quite hard. I felt obviously sad for her. And I felt hopeless. I felt like there was nothing hopeless in the terms of there was nothing that I could do. It was the middle of COVID. She lived in Belgium. I was in Jerusalem at the time.
Wow.
Couldn't go and make her a cup of tea. There was nothing I could really do physically to support her. So I decided to take that feeling of hopelessness and turn it into action. That's kind of who I am. I'm a very let's do something about it kind of person. So I took a couple days and I thought, what could I do that would be meaningful for her? How could I help support her on her cancer journey? And the World Cancer Walk the idea popped into my head. I felt that I wanted to do, she is someone, she's in remission, thankfully.
Awesome.
She is someone who spends a lot of time fundraising for her local charity in Belgium. She's a super dedicated volunteer. So I wanted to do a small fundraiser to raise money for the Belgium Cancer Society. And so she could focus on recovery while I kind of did that charity work that she would have done if she was healthy. She still did a lot of work while she was healing. And so that's kind of the starting point. I knew that I wanted to do a charity event. I wanted to fundraise for the Belgium Cancer Society. And then the idea popped into my head. I have had the privilege of living and working and studying in many different cities around the world. So I thought, if I could ask 24 friends in 24 cities to go on a walk, each one for an hour. Together, we could walk for 24 hours and we could fundraise for the Belgium Cancer Society. So that was the idea. It was a small personal project. It kind of picked up momentum. We had, I think, over 1,000 walkers the first year.
Wow.
And it started to grow like that.
Wow, that's incredible. That's very inspirational. And I'm sure like a lot of our listeners hearing this, it could be like it seems somewhat specific. You chose World Cancer Walk. Like, was there a significance or something special about why I had deliberately chose a walk?
Yeah, walking, right? Exactly.
Take a marathon that you want to go and run or something.
Yeah, it's very specific. Yeah.
It's another good question. So like I said, we started it in the middle of COVID 2021, and I tried to think of an activity that people could do People were in lockdown, people had restrictions. And so the idea of walking came to my mind. And it was really fun to see the photos. People were walking in quarantine in hotel rooms back and forward for an hour. We had monks in Bhutan walking in their courtyard.
Wow.
For flexibility,
Awesome.
walking in parks. So the idea of walking was just something that we could do during COVID. But since then, it's kind of become symbolic of like walking towards a common goal, walking in a unified way. Nobody walks alone. And more than a walk, it's actually a relay. We don't use the word relay, but it's a relay. One country finishes their walk and they pass on this invisible baton to the next country and they start. And that's kind of like symbolic of holding hands, right? So everyone's in it together. So that's how the idea of walking kind of started and has then evolved.
I know you, because this is very unique, right? Not everyone does this, right? For a friend, because we do have friends who have cancer, but what we do for them is we pray for them. We always keep them in our prayers. Like we try to help them in many ways. But when you started this non-profit or NGO, per se, how did it help your friend? Like, how did she feel about it?
I think at first she was quite touched that this was happening because of her. And then once she saw how it started to affect and impact other people, there was like gratitude in that as well. It's growing in her, taking something that was so difficult and painful for her, but has inspired so many people because of that, was quite powerful. And actually, since then, she's been involved with the World Cancer Walk. She's on the board. She helps with ideas. I'm pretty sure she came up with the name, if I remember correctly. So she's part of the heart of it as well.
Oh. It's like how you spread positivity, right? It just spreads. I think this speaks volume, like how one good thing it spreads around the world. So I think what you're doing is very inspiring, and I'm sure it in a way, a small percentage by you starting this, it helped your friend to recover as well.
Thank you. I hope so, and I hope it helped other people along the way. And back to the idea of walking is something that anyone can do. It doesn't cost money to walk. You can walk in your apartment. You can walk outside. It's something that's accessible to really anyone.
Yeah, I'm sure that was very inspiring, and I feel like your friend would have been very grateful to be a part of this. And I know part of me also to be a part of the World Cancer Walk that we did this year. Which was held early in the morning, and I'm not a morning person myself. Like I don't like getting up, but for this specific incident, I had to get up.
I do feel bad for the Asian countries who have to go super early.
True.
Thank you for supporting and walking.
Yeah, it was very, very, very surprising to us as well that the word spread. It was initially just MAKNA was going on the ground for this year, and then we had another corporate company called us. Okay, could we join you guys as well? As part of the initiative for World Cancer Walk. So we felt like, okay, this is just happening by itself. So something you've started small, and it has grew. Like I think I just went through your website saying that how the numbers have grew since 2021. Now you have more than 3,000 people walking around 53 countries, around over 297 cities. So these numbers are not something to be taken lightly. So this, so we wish you these numbers to be bigger, more people to join. So we are very happy to be part of this process as well. So yeah, it's great work. Beyond fundraising, what kind of impact that you hope to create? What is your goal actually?
So I feel like in a world where we have so many struggles and problems and differences, really the goal of the World Cancer Walk is to create unity. Our slogan is "Cancer has no boundaries, and neither do we." And that's really the truth behind it all. It doesn't matter where you're from, what background you are, what religion you are, how wealthy you are. Cancer affects everyone. And the fact that we can all unite over something that is hard and tough and not a good experience, but we can build this unity together is something that I think is important, and spreading the positivity, like you said before, Ravi. So I guess it's that community building aspect, first of all, on a local level. Some of the feedback that I've had from charities over the years was that their local walks provided a really nice opportunity for new members to meet each other, to offer support, to lean on each other, to discuss and share experiences, to bring in new people. So that's kind of happening on a local level, which I get the honor of hearing about, but I obviously don't get to see firsthand because can't be everywhere. But also building that community on a global level, and seeing that's kind of where I get involved, and seeing how it all comes together, and how we can unify. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, what country, but we can come together over this.
Okay, how many of you actually working here?
That's a good question. So it's mostly just me.
Oh God, okay.
So basically, I have a full-time job. I'm an educator. So that's my full-time job. I'm also a student getting my master's. So life is very busy at the moment. I started the World Cancer Walk. We are on the way to becoming a registered charity. There's a lot of bureaucracy I'm sure you guys know, to get around. I have a board of advisors. So that's something that I established after the second year. They are members who work in cancer charities and businesses, kind of who have that experience that they can offer advice. I also have amazing regional outreach volunteers. There are 5 of them, and they joined last year and were incredibly helpful in helping to outreach further, because I was one person trying to do everything. And these are volunteers. I have 2 in South America, 1 in Oceania, in Africa, and they kind of use they're all involved, they all are involved in cancer charities in countries in their region, and they help reach out to other countries through their networking and through just reaching out. That helps with language barriers, and with they already have those connections and know the cultural nuances. So it is me, but we are growing a team of informal volunteers at this point, hopefully when money comes in. At the moment, no money. All the money that is raised is for charities like yourselves. That's been really important to me, that the money fundraised goes to cancer patients and their families and their caretakers, and every community is a bit different how that looks like. So at the moment, we're still small and growing.
I think on that note, we at MAKNA here can sort of empathize that, because it did start off as a small group of people, just the founder, his daughter, and a few other people in admin, small, less than 5, and then now over 30 years, it's grown into something so big. So I feel like we do hope you reach that certain point in the future. And
thank you. You guys have advice?
Ravi, do you have something?
Well, I mean, most importantly, I think maybe a little bit about MAKNA here is that our aim was to, we have a target, a target group that we want to help. We call it here the B40 group. B40 meaning their earnings, their family earnings is below a certain threshold. All right. So meaning that they can only they are earning just to survive. Meaning that it is enough for them on a monthly basis, right? For their basic needs. All right. If this group of people get cancer, or diagnosed with cancer, right? How are they going to manage the expenses for their medical care and all those things, right? So we were very focused on that group, all right. So when we have a focus group, a target group like that, it was easier for us to what is their need? What do they need for their medical expenses, or to be more specific, where is the gap between the public health and their treatment? Example, So public health, of course, they provide all the basic treatments, necessities, and all those things. But for the treatment, they require, for cancer, for example, colon cancer. All right. For colon cancer, you need a colostomy bag. You need, financial help to go to the hospital. These are basic things that this B40 group cannot afford to, and they live in a very rural area that the access to hospitals, access to treatment was bad. So MAKNA stepped in and we tried to bridge in these gaps. So we provided financial aid, we provided the items that they need for their cancer treatment, like colostomy bag, chemo port, A to Z, actually, basically. Voice prosthesis, wheelchair, oxygen concentrators, you name it. Whatever they need for their treatment, MAKNA started to provide, and we started to expand. So we started with 20 patients a year. Now we are giving assistance to more than 8,000 patients or 8,000 cases a year, because one patient can refer multiple times to MAKNA for assistance. So that has grown a lot, and we have reached out to the most rural part of Malaysia. We are finding ways to access these patients through our volunteers as well, because the staffs can only do so much. So like you said, your volunteer network need to be strong to do outreach program and to give assistance. So that's what we're trying to do, and of course we are expanding to prevention as well. So we have started our cancer screening, especially for women-related cancer, like breast cancer. We have started our mammogram screening unit in 2011. Now we have 3 mobile screening unit running successfully around Malaysia currently. So these are the main services that we are currently doing.
Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Actually, that's one of my favorite things about the World Cancer Walk. There's so many things that I love, but one of my most favorite things is that I hear what charities are doing for their communities around the world, and it's beyond inspiring. Inspiring is too weak of a word to describe it. Like, to hear that you're accessing people who are in rural areas with limited accessibility, and to hear that the more I'm involved in this cancer world, the more you realize how many extra costs there are that certain charities don't support.
Yeah.
So it's really incredible, the work that you do for your local. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much, Jess. I think another thing that I would like to ask is, for our listeners here, because you told about goal, right? But you also must be thinking about expansion. Are you planning to give more services or assistance to patients, or your goal is to give more awareness? Where are you trying to position World Cancer Walk?
Thank you for asking that. So at the moment, the goal is awareness, is outreach, is getting as many people involved as possible. That's kind of where I'm putting the energy into, and what I believe is important and what's missing, kind of that world connection. Because everyone in their local communities does great work, but this is something that is just a little bit overarching and can include a lot of people. But as we go forward, the possibilities are endless. I know, Ravi, you and I had a discussion, I think a few months ago, about a few more ways we can collaborate. I've spoken to other charities. There are ways we're building this massive network of patients and survivors and caregivers and charities. And as we continue growing, it's what do we do with this network? And the possibilities are endless. And maybe it's charities connecting, like we've discussed, and sharing resources and ideas. Maybe it's finding ways to connect patients who are going through similar experiences. So it really can go in so many different directions, and it can go big and it can go far. But at the moment, we're still trying to just grow and raise awareness and build that network and community.
Awesome. So you have a very clear direction on where World Cancer Walk is heading, right? Yeah. Awesome.
But also open to hear, like charities come with ideas and patients come with ideas and the board comes with ideas. So, I know how I am as one person, as any one person, limited, right? In their idea.
How are you managing that? Like there's so many voices around you telling you what you should do.
I've always been raised with being open-minded and being kind and hearing.
I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
And I can pick and choose, and I can use different people as soundboards to ask if they that idea, but to be open, because that's really how the brain grows and how you could be exposed to different ideas.
That's cool. But on that note, also, like you listening to other people's perspectives, gaining and then also giving your own sort of opinions on this. What do you think, in your opinion, are the values that each of these organizations share, like yours or ours? What ties these organizations together in terms of the values or principles that they share, do you think?
Yeah, there are many values. I do handpick the charities, and I spend a lot of time researching what they do, how they support their people. I tend to find smaller charities that are doing grassroots work on the ground. And one, I guess, common value and trait that I really see as distinguished is that every charity that I work with, and what we try to do at the World Cancer Walk, is puts their people first. Your community members are really, I see that in the work that you guys do in MAKNA for your community. The community members are really at the heart of every decision, of every initiative, of every experience. And I think that is kind of what brings the different charities together within the World Cancer Walk network. That community outreach, that wanting to help more people, to reach more people, those people who have less accessibility to resources or knowledge. So those are kind of the common qualities that I find in the charities that partner with the World Cancer Walk.
Do you have a target, Jess, in your mind that, I want to reach certain number? This is my goal. This is the number of people I want to reach. Do you have a target in mind?
That's a good question. I'm actually not a numbers person. I do have a target. I'd like to get to 10,000 walkers, which I know is still quite small. People think, big, but we're still growing. Last year we had 3,500 people sign up, but looking at photos and hearing feedback from charities, we think that was closer to 7. It's really hard.
You're very close.
Yeah, we're close. And some people might say 10,000 isn't dreaming very big. But for me, every time another person registers or a new country joins our team, I get excited. So really, if it was 10,000 or 20,000, those goals are great. And it's important to just want to improve every time and increase every time. But really, when a new person joins, that feeling is really exciting for me. And that's where the difference is in my mind. When someone new joins our community and they're impacted in a positive way, that makes all the difference.
I know in your collaboration currently you have about 16 charities working together with World Cancer Walk. Do you have plans to bring us all together and because you have done yourself, like bring these big charities together, and do you have any plans for future plans for any collaboration, or where do you think this partnership is heading for you?
Yeah, there's definitely so many ways we can take it, and I would love the opportunity of bringing everyone together. We have some bigger charities, smaller charities with very few resources, charities that are well established with a lot of resources, and I can see, I get to have these individual conversations and meet these incredible people, and I could see that the charities meeting each other being a fruitful opportunity. So I'd love to organize something like that. We'd have to work it out with the time zones, because for me to wake up at 2 a.m. to make a call is okay, but to get everyone to do that is not so easy.
Luckily, you're in Hong Kong, so we can be in the same time at the moment.
The first I've ever been on the same time zone. I actually have a call with a new potential charity in about an hour and a half from now, and their time zone is like 0.5 hours. So I'm not, like I said before, I don't have a math brain, so I'm working. But yes, definitely want to get the charities together, whether that's an online conference, whether it's breakout rooms that people can exchange ideas, whether it's a panel. The way it looks is not exactly established in my head, but there are so many ideas and something I definitely want to build on.
So we are looking forward to that. As you know, we spoke a lot about expanding this partnership to another level. Uniting a lot of charities around the world. Have a conversation on policies, advocacy, and all those things. But here's the tough question for you, like on policies, right? Since pandemic, how have the conversation do you think have changed about cancer and how we look at cancer? So
I think there are certain challenges that have arisen since the pandemic, the main one being funding for many charities, especially when a global crisis like COVID-19 or any economic, pressures, funding goes down, which limits the ability for charities to do the work that they do. So that's been a challenge. There's also just a general cultural stigma in some countries. The more that I'm learning about it and the more that I'm speaking to charities, you have some countries that it's in their culture to stay home if you have cancer, not to go out. It's kind of something that you don't want to show weakness, or maybe you're ashamed, which makes it challenging for charities to do outreach programs and early intervention programs. So that is a challenge as well. But I have seen some positive changes in terms of the way the discussion around cancer has evolved. I've been doing this for 6 years, so it's actually not a lot of time. Before that, like I said, I'm an educator, so my background wasn't in cancer advocacy or research before, but I've definitely learned a lot in my journey. But a shift that I've seen is kind of gone from this traditional awareness approach of, this is October and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, those kind of campaigns, to more of personal storytelling campaigns. I see a lot more stories where people are confident to stand up and tell their journey with cancer, to share the experiences that they've had. I think that's because of technology, that people are able to use platforms like Instagram and TikTok and get their voice out there. And so I see a lot of connections through that as well. And that's a lot of how we make our connections. So challenges with the end of COVID and, the new era afterwards, but also some positive things that I'm noticing.
That's great, actually. I think we have the same similar outlook as well in Malaysia, that post pandemic, the discussion around cancer has changed for MAKNA, especially because a lot of people has fallen into the category where we help, because of people have lost their jobs, businesses have closed down. I know I might sound like a broken record, but people have been talking about closed businesses and all those things. But this is reality, and we've seen it with our own eyes, that how the economy has changed around cancer, and how MAKNA has to work harder to help more people now, because our numbers have spiked since 2021. The number of cases that we are assisting from 5,000 cases to 8,000 cases. So that requires more funding, more people, manpowers that we require to assist all these people. So I truly resonate where you come from, and MAKNA is facing the same issue. But I think we are more than happy to assist as many people as possible. There is no limitations here, and so I think we are in the same direction with the same goal, and sharing the same values. So it is great to know that individuals like you, put a lot of effort in giving awareness, because it's not only about money; it's about the right message. and people in the way that people can understand. It can be as simple as going for a walk, right? So I think the way you started this conversation and putting this idea of walking is people can resonate really well, and it's easy for them to do. So great work.
Thank you. I agree. I had a conversation because after the first year we just fundraised for the Belgium Cancer Society, and the second year we invited other charities. And I remember having a conversation with one of the people who worked in the Belgium Cancer Society after the second year. And obviously they didn't fundraise as much because there were other charities fundraising. And so I kind of was like, I'm sorry, we didn't have the same like fundraising effect as like last year. And he told me something like really powerful. He said that the impact of the community building and the awareness is more than any money that they could have raised. He said that them personally had a lot of younger people joining the walk, I guess because of the social media that we use, and bringing more people to their local community. And he said there are so many other opportunities for fundraising, and if this becomes an awareness walk for them, that they're happy to be involved. So we always hope that people donate. It is encouraged. It's not mandatory. There's also no fee to walk and no fee for charities to join us. I really want this to be something that anybody can join. And I don't want money to be a barrier for people. But that also affects the fundraising capacities. And maybe that's an area that we could put on the back burner for now, or maybe it's an area we could think creatively on how to fundraise, even if it's not compulsory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, my next question was that, Dimitri, I'm a bit older, but not that old. Jessica, how old are you? Are you okay to say? 32? Okay, she's way younger. How about you, Dimitri? You're 30. 30. Okay, so I was about to ask the age group, right? Like the walkers and also people who volunteer for you. Do you see a good mix of people, coming from different part of the world, different age group? How do you see the awareness around this?
Yeah, so it's really different. It's really different in every country. One of the things that are important to me with building the World Cancer Walk is that there's flexibility, because I do understand but also appreciate that every community has different needs and different cultures and different factors. So there is flexibility in how the local communities kind of make the World Cancer Walk happen for them. We have, for example, in Hungary, I don't know, it's spread through this one cancer organization that we partner with, but it's all over the country. I think we have the most walkers in Hungary, and some of the photos, there are people in their like 70s walking, like hundreds, and then around the world we have more like cancer advocates who are, filming themselves and they're younger. So it really depends on the local charities that we're working with. The age range is huge. We have more and more families getting involved, and I've heard from parents saying it's a really good learning experience for their kids. Maybe that's the teacher in me that makes me happy to hear that. But younger kids are walking with their families and walking for a cause and learning about what that means and learning about what cancer is. So a real wide range in people walking.
That's very powerful. Yeah.
Wow.
What about you guys in Malaysia? Did you figure out what the average age is of people who join the World Cancer Walk?
All between my age group, 30 to 35, the working adults mostly. But of course, like you said, they did bring their family members. So we did see children, coming together. It's a good mix. But I think we need to bring in more younger generations, the younger people to be part of this, walking for a very meaningful cause. And also, it is also important to tell them why they were doing this, why are they walking for the purpose, right? Giving it a purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree on that note as well, Ravi. It does fall onto these people that they need to advocate, they need to inspire, or at least spread the awareness to these other people, the other communities, or just people who want to go out and help. basically, like to give them that sort of format where they can start. This is where it should start, like basically.
And also just in such an individualized generation where kids are on their phones and kind of to themselves.
Exactly.
Really important for them to learn to care for people. It's something kind of basic. It's something that I'm grateful that my parents raised me that way, but to be outside of your bubble and to know that there are people who need help, whether it's for medical reasons, for poverty, not having money for food, someone who's lonely, just to be able to do something for someone else is a really important value that I think kids need to be reminded of and given the opportunities to practice.
Yes, 100%. But you, Jessica, you do hold a sort of a unique perspective in what you do, because you collaborate with so many of these international bodies all around the world. Like you mentioned Hungary, Germany. On your perspective, in your opinion, what's the biggest challenge that you face in terms of advocating for cancer to these organizations?
So it's a personal challenge, and I think my biggest challenge is the language barrier, which sounds really basic actually, but oftentimes I'm Google translating a lot of information and hoping that my message comes across, which is why having these regional outreach volunteers has been really helpful, because now I'm not trying to speak Spanish or try to, I have people who are helping me do that. And also understanding like the different cultural nuances. Like I said before, I'm learning a lot about the how cancer is a taboo in certain places. And so when I speak to charities, I have to be mindful and really open to listening to how they view cancer, how they work with the community members. And it's a whole learning process because every country is different. And every country has different resources and different approaches to supporting their communities. So it's been a really big learning opportunity to see and to compare.
Where is cancer taboo? In which country is it taboo?
The Middle East. There's a lot of that in the Middle East. Actually in China as well. And we haven't found a charity in China that we can connect with yet. That's been hard. And in China in general, sometimes it's getting better, but having a disability or something is an embarrassment, or either for the person or the family, so they stay home. And really, there's so many ways to connect, and so many people are going through, the cancer journey. So there, if people could outreach, and if people could, accepting help is hard. Accepting help is hard for a lot of people. I've also learned in certain countries that for women it's less acceptable or less, than men. So it's really been a learning experience.
Creates a stigma, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. And so it'd be powerful as well to connect, especially thinking about connecting women who, some from a country where it's less stigmatized, and some, connecting them and showing them that it could be okay.
I think we are almost towards the end of our conversation, because I think we've been 40 minutes now.
Actually, we've been
because we actually I'm so into this. I have a lot more questions, and my people, the team members are showing, guys, it's 40 minutes now. Exactly. We should do a part 2. Okay, but I think as a final quote, right? What is your message to patients, to survivors, to caregivers, who's listening to us, and also feeling overwhelmed by this whole process, right? I know it's not easy to take care of a patient, as a family, as a caregiver. So yeah, what is your message, Jess, for all of us?
So I think that's a big question. I myself am, grateful and privileged that I am healthy. So I haven't experienced cancer personally, but have experienced it in family members and friends. And I haven't been a caregiver, so everybody comes from it from a different angle. And cancer is tough. It's tough, incredibly tough for the patient, for the family members, for the caregivers. No experience is exactly the same. So it's, one shouldn't compare, like they're doing really well, I'm not doing really well. But also on a positive note that it's everywhere. And there's so many people and organizations like MAKNA, like you guys, who are offering resources, who are offering support. And when that individual, whether they're the patient or the caretaker, or if you're a survivor, are ready to accept help, there are so many opportunities and so many people who want to help and who have gone through something similar. So I guess to stay strong and to use the resources when you're ready for that's out there. And to keep hopeful.
Thank you, Jess. I think the message is, pretty clear. We have to always stay strong, have a lot of hope, support from family, and, support each other. And I think World Cancer Walk is doing that. So MAKNA is doing that. And we also hope the relationship between World Cancer Walk and MAKNA builds from here, and we've already been partners for the past 2 years now. So we are hoping to take this to a next level. Have more conversations around cancer and how we can build more awareness and stuff. So Jessica, on behalf of MAKNA and Konti Cancer, we would like to say thank you to you, for being here, for being part of this show, and. You were awesome, and keep doing what you're doing. And, thank you so much.
Thank you, vice versa. Thank you so much for having me, for making the time. And it's been really nice chatting with you all. And thank you to everyone who's listening.
Yep. And to all our listeners, don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll get you in our next episode. Goodbye, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Jess. Bye.